Good afternoon, at least for me. Today I'll be talking about the taxing system both in Europe, mainly in Portugal. The example that I know much more about it, the US. Now, in the US there is always this excuse that in order for the taxpayer not be fooled by prices or whatever, that the taxing is measured in almost 100% of the cases, it's done at the tip, not done in the product themselves. And they justify this, at least from what the Americans tell me, about different taxes for different regions and whatever. Because the individual states apparently fix taxes, the prices, the taxes on this and on that, and hence the taxing cannot be uniform. Now, in Portugal, you have three distinguished and different taxing areas. You have mainland Portugal, and of course, you have the Azores Islands that have a different taxing system, and the Madeira Island that also has a different tax. They are both autonomous regions, meaning they are part of the country. They are Portuguese, just like any of us, of course. But because they are dislocated in the Atlantic Ocean, they need specific taxing to, number one, attract investment to a more isolated place. Number two, to protect them from abuses in tax. So you will find that, for example, in both of these areas, and particularly in Madeira, they have different taxes to attract investors and to protect locals. So they have specific support from the state, like for example, they have a number of flights they can do between the continents because it's not you cannot go by boat. It would take days. So the the way they dislocate themselves, sorry, dislocate. Oh God, sorry. The way they move about between the islands and Portugal, continental Portugal, is via airplane. I was there myself working, and I also have had this local discount, meaning that a flight a flight from the islands to Portugal is significantly reduced to people that live or work and people that reside in the islands. Okay, this is the reason why we have different taxing systems. The taxing is uniform across the country, and if someone thinks that our country is that small, then I cannot help you. What I can tell you is that yes, comparatively to certain areas in the United States, of course it's small. You know, we are a piece of the Iberian Peninsula and little more. Okay, but the question here is that when I go to the supermarket, the final price per unit or per kilo is always there. Meaning, a kilo of potatoes will cost X number, X euros. You know, a carton, usually it's a carton with 12 packs of 12 or 6 packs of milk, a liter each, will have a fixed price. A carton of eggs will have fixed price. I know exactly how much I will pay at the till. And the possibility of being misled or fooled or whatever is punished by law. Meaning that, imagine this. I will give you this example. I sometimes speak with a Chinese shop owner. Okay, we talk sometimes. I have, we haven't talked in a long time, but whenever we meet up and we talk and whatever. I would say, well, a friend or someone that I know. Call her. This is a lady, whatever you want to call her. But and she told me this because they already have in Chinese owned shops here. They already have Portuguese products and for a long time. even some of those traditional products that you can only get in specific grocery stores or supermarkets or whatever, they have them. Traditional high quality products that range from toothpaste to coffee to sugar to puddings to whatever you want to consider. Okay, specific products that sometimes in a large supermarket you cannot find. But carry on. And she tells me this. You see, for the Chinese, any profit is a good profit. And when you go to a shop, they apply a different profit tax. And we here, we prefer to have a lower profit tax and still sell more than to have a higher profit tax and sell less. We sell more. At the end of the day, we earn more. And now you will tell me, so what is there to stop shops from fooling you? And I will tell you this: in their accounting, they have to register every saying they spend in their activity and every saying they earn in their activity. And to force them to do that, there is surveillance in the accounting and there is cross data between banking accounts and the tax people pay. So, of course, someone can fool the system during a fixed period of time. But sooner than later, and right now it's extremely quick, sooner than later you will get caught. And the punishment for that is extremely is it really it's really extremely purposely punishing. It can go from a fine to a court case to jail time. It can go from simply you are unable to own any business ever again or during a fixed period of time. It can go if you are, for example, a foreign company to be simply forbade, forbade from ever having a business in Portugal. And right now, with the EU, companies like individuals have a criminal record. What is a criminal record? In a criminal record, everything you have done in terms of crimes, good or bad, are registered. So, suppose you tank a company here in Portugal, and then you go, I don't know, let's not say Spain because it's right next to us, and someone might think, oh, no, you go to Finland to open up a business. They will ask you for your criminal record of you and of your company, and then it will be there, and not in days, in hours when there's something in the criminal record. They will simply say, no, you cannot open a business here because of this and because of that. And of course, you can get your money and you can give it to someone else, and that someone else opens the business. But the truth is that if the profits go back to you, then it will be you and the person in which name you open up the business again. Both of you will be in hot water. This is called cross-checking data. And I will repeat this again. It's not perfect. This is not an utopia. When we are living in human societies, we have human factors and human variability. But the fact is that it works. Sometimes it takes a while to give results, but after a while, it's like that old saying that there are only two certain things in life: death and taxes. Here we apply that period by the book. And so, when the American consumer is being told this crap of, oh, it's this plus taxes, it's this plus taxes, they are fooling you because they don't want to be truthful with you. Because, like I told you in that the example of that Chinese guy, sorry, sorry, but of that Chinese woman, the Chinese girl, the example is this: when I go to a shop and I see the variation of prices, I know that this one is selling it cheap, and I, as a consumer, I can choose to go buy the same product in another shop cheaper. This is why, for example, I'll give you a quick example. I needed about 2 months ago. I needed to change my laptop, my PC. Okay, and I went to the shops and I saw the same product. First, I saw it in the physical local shops. I just passed by, took a look, and saw at what price they were selling what I wanted. Okay, and then I went online and I saw three shops. One that has shops, online shops all over Europe, and has one specific to Portugal, and another one from Portugal, a couple in other countries in the EU, and I saw the prices, and then I decided, and I ended up buying the same product that I wanted, the exact same product that I wanted, the same brand, the same characteristics that I need for what I'm doing right here, exactly the same under the price that I previously had seen in other shops, and I bought my product. And capitalism worked. Capitalism only does not work when you do not keep a close eye on those that are profiting. Here, you earn more, you pay more taxes. And even if you earn less, you also pay taxes according to your income. And if you do not have enough income, then you won't pay taxes. Because there is a humane principle in the Constitution of protecting those with less. That is why I'm talking about Portugal, in our healthcare system that is undergoing a lot of change and a lot of issues too, but we have a principle to pay according to what you have. So if you are an old person, you don't have money, or you are a poor person, you don't have a job, or you cannot work, or you are disabled, or you either will pay something according to what you have in terms of income, or you won't pay zero, and you will get prioritized. You know, no one is going to stop. For example, I'll give you this: no one is going to stop you, let you die because you don't have enough money to pay for insulin. Why? Because that is savagery. If you have enough money, you can pay that fixed, and the prices that you pay then for medicine and for goods and whatever. Then, since at the beginning the taxing is done, the end result is that the price that you pay in your supermarket shop, you know, in your pharmacy or whatever, you will already have paid according to what you have. And if this means that a couple of parasites go about all their lives without doing bloody nothing, well, I would say that is a very small price to pay in order to have people not dying of hunger and of disease because they don't have enough money to pay for the things they need. And that, my friends, that is what it means to be a Christian. That is also what it means to be a good Muslim. Yes, I'm saying that. Yes, I'm saying that. Have no doubt about it, because these are principles of our society. I'm not including the Jewish society because some of them follow the same criteria as we do, others don't. And we can see that in Gaza. And we can see and heard, like you and I have heard, what they say about the Palestinians. And you also have the extremists of Hamas. You have all these zealots, this idiotical person, that forget that the prophet was a young man that shepherded camels, and that then was a part of a trading house, and that married a much older woman than him, that was a widower, and that she and I believe his little cousin Ali, I think, were the first disciples of his religion. All these zealots, they forget about this. Me, I get educated. I could narrate right now the history of a lot of historical characters. Let's call them that, like this. Like the Prophet, I'm not saying his name because I don't want to offend any Muslims. I think that is an offense for them, so I won't say it. But I won't say it not out of fear, but out of respect. Okay? But also the history of Jesus, of Buddha, because I want to understand what drives people. I want to understand why a person says this or says that, or does not eat this food, or does not eat that food, or whatever. And even if I think that is ridiculous, like this thing with the name, a name is a name. If you say the name with respect, you are respecting the name and the person. Okay? I But let's continue. But what I'm trying to say about, when returning to the beginning of my rant about the taxes, is this: having the taxes public, immediate to the consumer, it's a freedom that is the true spirit of capitalism. You go to America, you go to one shop, you see I don't know, the pair of jeans that you like. I don't know. I don't know how much is a pair of jeans in the US. $50, whatever. You see that those jeans are $50. Don't like it. You go online and see, well, this shop is selling it at $48 minus shipping. With shipping, $49. I can buy from you. Or you go to the mall in the next neighborhood and you see, look, the same pants, the same jeans that I want at 45, and you buy them there. You don't go in the shop and then at the till, oh, 45. Oh, and then the Americans tell me this. Oh, but the this tax calculation on all of that, it becomes automatic and it's very easy and blah 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 blah. Okay, and I tell you, my friend, if you are telling me this, I believe in you. The issue here is why? Why would I, the consumer, need to make the calculations in my head when, for example, here, the calculations I do when I go to a supermarket, and I have to do them also because I work for a living. I'm no, I, I'm no, no rich boy sitting around and singing to himself. Well, I'm going to make myself some videos and look good on TV. I'm not that guy. No, I'm not that guy. Okay, but and for example, I go buy a pack of milk, a carton of eggs, I don't know, and I look at the eggs. Oh, and I'm not mocking you, okay? But here, only the most expensive eggs are around €3. The average price of eggs that I buy, a local brand, national, it's around €1 40 or €1 45, something like that. And I look at that, look, 12 eggs, 145. Okay, and in my head, 145. I also have a business in its head because was born in a business. Continue. And I see, oh, the milk. Well, the milk is around is one around it's 80 the milk here is around 89 cents, and I'm talking of euros, of course. 89 cents six pack of 1 liter and a half of milk. Okay, I buy my milk, and when I get to the till, I already have in my head more or less how much money I'm going to spend. The same with, for example, meat. If it's packed, if the meat is packed already in a package, it's it has the price written on it, okay, or it's either written on it, or there is a little information telling how much that specific type of meat is, okay. If I go, for example, to buy bulk of potatoes or fruit or whatever, if they are not packaged in a bag already with the price tag on it, there's a price tag by kilo, and I know that if I buy a kilo or two of potatoes, that is how much I will pay. Okay? Or greens or whatever. You understand? It's always the price is always there. So that when I arrive to the till, I know exactly how much I am going to pay. Maybe I'm not making all the count, but I know, for example, that if I buy 2 cartons of eggs, you know, I only need €4 to pay for it, for example. You get it? But this perspective, the perspective is what is important here. The perspective of me arriving at the shop and not having to worry about taxing. Because the government, the person that is selling me the product, they have to worry about taxing. Because the government will see how much that shop owner owns, how much he earned, and how much he spent. And it's a simple mathematical calculus. You know, if you earn 10 and you spend 20, you are losing 10. If you earn 10 and you spend 2, then you earned 8. This is the way these things are calculated. And when a supermarket, for example, puts in its tax revenue declaration, or me, any citizen, they will put we spent this amount of money in acquiring goods, in electricity, in water, business 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 related items and whatever, and we earn this by selling. And then the government will look at it, and then according to the law, what is deductible, what is not deductible is not deductible. If it's deductible, it will be considered as an expense, and it will eat away a part of the profit of the company. Okay? If it's not considered deductible, because there are things that are not deductible, that a smart businessman must know you will have that price. For example, paying for a salary to your employees, that's a fix. And you also know that from that from that from that salary, you have to deduct immediately the taxes for the state and the contributions for the social security system. This is why when Americans say you don't pay any taxes and you have a good health system, whatever. No, my friend, all of all of that money, even for my pension, if I live enough to get it, it's deducted from your immediate pay. If even if you work in the private sector or in the public sector, it will be absolutely the same. Because again, we go back. Oh, in the private they can declare whatever they want. If you pay an extra €600 to your employee, the employee has to declare them, you have to declare them, and if you don't declare them, then that will be an unaccountable expense or profit. And then cross checking data, they will get you. You might get away with it 1 time, 2 times, I don't know. But sooner or later, it will come back to bite you in the ass. And let me tell you, Portuguese taxes, man, I don't know what is happening there, but they are voracious. Let's just say it like this. Okay, so I hope this helps you to understand why I consider that this perspective of paying taxes in the US is so damaging to the consumer. I'm simply talking about the consumer. And indirectly, it's also for the person that is selling you the stuff. Hmm? Because you might sell the same thing, you might sell less, but it's also an inconstant, a non-constant profit. It's also a non-constant operation expense. This is why a lot of companies, when they install themselves in the US, they are a bit, I don't know, confused. And sometimes they commit errors. They start the business in the US and then they close it because they see, look, if I knew it was all, we would have all of these things to worry about, man, I wouldn't have bothered to install here. But that is a subject for another video that I'm going to put out about the tariffs and all. The tariffs and the investment, in this case, in the aspect of the investment in the US. Okay. But I just hope that this helps to understand you, especially if you are an American. Why do we have the price tags on goods immediately available? First, because it's the law, and second, because it's the most logical thing to do. If you go to buy a computer in Italian, it's the price tag of the computer is 250 euros. This is an example. When I go to the till and I put my computer there, I will know that I will pay 250 euros. I won't have to worry about the VAT because there is a fixed VAT for that good. I will not have to worry about whatever state import tax or whatever. I won't have to worry about anything except having the 350 euros to pay for that good, pick it up and bring it home. And the same thing with any service. The same thing with any service, like staying in a hotel, hiring someone to do any type of work in your house, hiring someone to build you a house, whatever. You understand? It's always a fixed price. You always the consumer has the right to know how much that thing that he is picking up from a shelf is. If it's $50, you pick it up, you go to the till and you pay $50. This is a fundamental right. If the product comes from another state with a different tax tax amount, the person that bought that product and put it on shelf for you to buy, that person has the obligation of adding the tax that the extra tax that he or her whatever has to pay to that product, and you only have to know how much is that product. And oh, they will fool you. They will buy, for example, I don't know, in Arkansas, where it's only 5% over the potatoes, and then they come here, and since the tax here is 15%, they will put 50% instead of putting 5%. Well, that will be the discussion between them and the tax revenue system, not yours. Yours is to know how much those potatoes are, and to here's the money, give me my potatoes. Americans are unable to stand accountable to their actions, and we are seeing that right now. As a as a citizen, you have a number of duties and a number of rights. And what is wrong here is that you consider only you have rights and no duties. And this goes back to the same old principle. Simple as this. Well, I hope this at least has helped you to understand a bit about why we have a different taxing system, and I hope it helps you. Okay, bye.